Daniels. We have Katie and Lizzie Baker with us in the green out uniforms,
right,
dresses, we'll call them.
Yes, had to.
We got the man, Coach King, with us. Coach, how's it been?
Been good. It's been a busy week, crazy week. You know, Marshall's always a big game for us, and then you pack on green out night and homecoming, so there's a lot of festivities going on. Great American Rivalry Series is here. They're going to recognize a couple of student athletes, so and then, award a trophy to the winner, and that stuff. So it's always a big contest with Marshall.
Sure is. Coach, last week against 6A McKinney Boyd, how do you feel the team performed?
Week one, I was pleased with the effort and the execution. We had a few mistakes that we need to clean up. We don't need to repeat, but I felt like defensively we really settled down after about a quarter and a half and controlled the game offensively. I think, we looked pretty good at times. A big drive for us, open the game, go 90-some-odd yards for a touchdown, first drive of the year, and then the big one after half in the rain. We go 18-play drive and get a touchdown and kind of separate from them a little bit. And, I think it was pretty good effort. And kick game, we were pretty solid most of the night with coverage and protection and things of that nature.
Awesome. Well, can I ask what were some priorities that you had that you worked on in practice following this game? I know you mentioned a little bit, but can you go into more detail?
It's our focus is always on us trying to improve the things we need to do. And we are preparing for an opponent, but just the little things. And pre-snap penalties, alignments, assignments, things of that nature. And then, of course, you got to get ready to play a different front, play a different scheme offensively when what Marshall does now. And so you got to kind of bide your time in both places so you're ready to play for game night and kids know what to do. But, the big thing is got to be able to block, got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to throw and catch, got to protect, got to be able to blitz, pick up blitzes. So you still got to work on all those things against yourself. And Keaton can tell you we do a lot of good on good. We do a lot of us on us. And there's times that we back off some of that and go against the show.
Coach, I want to get your thought about the offense, especially in comparison to last year. Starting the year off, like you said, you started the first drive off with a 90-yard touchdown. Another big thing, too, is like at the end of the first half, that 5-minute drive to score was big. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on how the offense is looking so far to start the year?
Well, you can tell we're a little more experienced than we were last year. I was pleased. Up front, with the exception of one guy, all of them played varsity football last year. And then our skill spots, Taylor Tatum, Jalen, Hale, D.K. Reese, Jatavian Wright, they were varsity players for us last year too. So, they've been there and done it. They know the speed of the game. Last year opened up the season. First play, we didn't know how to line up. Much less run. We got caught with 10 guys on the field about 3 or 4 times last year. We went out there to punt, didn't have the punter. We at least looked like we had practiced and prepared.
Absolutely.
Well, we talked about the offense. Let's turn over and talk about the defense. I watched some video of Marshall, some highlights from last week. I noticed they played some one back, some split back. It even looked like on one of the highlights that I saw, they were in an unbalanced formation. How do you prepare your kids?
Who told you?
Well, my dad's a coach, so that helps.
Impressive, right?
But
pretty good.
Thank you. But how do you prepare your kids for those various formations and their keys that they have to look at so quickly?
That's the thing. They're going to give you all these various formations. They're going to play with tempo, get out of the huddle in a hurry. So you can't play a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah. You got to be able to play a solid, sound-based defense, be able to leverage these formations, but still you got to defend the inside trap, inside wham. You got to be able to defend the buck sweep on the edge or the quick pitch, and then the boot pass. Mm-hmm. So he's going to have a lot of different change-ups, I'm sure, in what we saw last week. But, they were effective running the ball last week with a trap. They were effective running with a G, double G. They ran it with pretty much what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, coming out ranked number 1 in the state, how's the team living up to your expectations? Going to have a packed house tonight, which is always fun, playing against a rival Marshall. Keeping level heads?
They have. Everything I've seen, but it's still your typical stuff for high school kids. You're going to get an email from a teacher about one, that's maybe a little late to class, or one that's, not really into it that day and not motivated to do their schoolwork. But as far as their attitudes at practice, their attitudes when they come here, when they leave here, and how they're working with one another, I've been pleased. It's, like I told you when the season started, I hadn't heard one kid talk about our ranking. All we're focusing on is staying together as a team and trying to get better week to week, because we know that as this season progresses, the game's just going to get more and more difficult. And you've got to get better as a team, and that's been our main focus. And I've been pleased. They've held up pretty good so far. And we don't have really a large varsity team. We got 61 kids that we're dressing. Mm-hmm. We've had some in previous years. We had 72, but right now we got 61, and we just got to get those guys ready to play.
Yes.
Coach, man, we'll let you get back to pregame. We appreciate your time. Always a pleasure, brother.
You bet.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm going to call you Sunday.
I'm available.
Appreciate it.
In life, some things just go together, like a burger and fries. And home and auto insurance from State Farm. Combine and save.
Talk to State Farm agent Charlene Ingram today.
And now at Orr, we want to buy your used vehicle and we'll give you guaranteed top dollar for yours. And if you prefer to trade, even better, with massive savings on every new vehicle at Orr Cadillac GMC in Longview.
Crunch has everything you need to find your mode. Come check out Crunch Fitness with a free guest pass.
We are back, and we've added Justin Wells, managing editor of Texas Insider Magazine. And I got a surprise for you, Justin. She's got a national championship ring from the University of Texas. She said she might let you wear it on your pinky finger.
Hey, that's the kind of ring I want.
Man, how's everything been going? Another football season.
Hey, man, tomorrow night, Texas high school football really started last week and caught a couple games, and then tonight you get Longview, you get Marshall. they've been playing this game for feels like 100 years.
Yeah.
And so I'm just fired up that it's the season, because that off season is such a grind. It's 8-9 months just drags out. We're hitting right now. It's live, it's real, and that's the best part.
Who are some players? I know you have to kind of pick and choose. You don't go to games because they're good games. You're here because we got players in Longview tonight.
Yes, sir.
Who are you here looking at?
Well, the main one is top Texas target, Jalen Hale. 6'3", about 185 pounds, 4-star, on 3 rated. He's one of the best in the country. You've seen him for a while now, Morgan. This is a kid that's, was a varsity player at Longview as a freshman, and I believe that's only happened 1 or 2 other times in the history of this program. Jalen Hale has a lot of mileage, and he has a lot of offers to go with it. Now, he dropped a smaller list here a couple months ago with Texas, with Alabama, with Georgia. I talked to him the other day. Texas A&M is still in the mix as well. They may be getting an official visit, down the road. But this is a kid that Texas has prioritized. They've got 3 big receivers in the class already. They want to take one more. Jalen Hale would be a great fit. He's leaving tonight and headed for Tuscaloosa. He's going to go to an official visit in Alabama. And I'm telling you something, guys, anytime Nick Saban prioritizes your players, hold on tight.
Absolutely.
And then the next week, he's going to watch Bama again when they come to Austin. And that one's probably not going to be as pretty. But it's an official visit for Texas as well, because he loves that staff. He loves building with Brennan Marion. He loves those recruits. He has a really good bond with those guys. And then on September 21st here in Longview, he's going to announce his decision. And I know you'll be there. I'll be here. Yep. There's a lot of anticipation there, and I think it's going to come down to Texas and Alabama, and it's going to be fun. We'll see who gets it.
We'll be streaming that live right here on game day. We've talked to ESPN's picking that up. Fox is. I'm sure Texas Insider will probably stream it to them as well.
Yes, sir.
I speak for all Longview fans, I think, right here. Why does he not have a 5th star? What's the problem? If you got everybody's offered him.
That's the biggest question.
That is a question.
I'll tell you why he's not a 5th star. Because those recruiting rankings, to me, are a little hollow. He doesn't run a 4.4. And that's what that's the sexy running time to get that 4th or 5th star if you're a position player, a receiver, a corner, things of that nature. He's a 4.6, 4.7 type kid. But like I tell people all the time, if you think he's slow, turn on the film.
Definitely.
Cut
I
on
was
the
about to say,
tape.
I don't think he's
Even-
a 4'6", 4'7" guy.
Even if you watch him on the track, if you watch him run that first leg around that 200, he is eating up everybody.
You can go to the long TD pass last week
Absolutely.
on camera. I mean, he's gone. We have a video of him. I show everybody from last year against the Arkansas team. He was 45 yards out, and he was at the camera like that in the end zone.
Absolutely.
I find it hard to believe he's a 4'6", 4'7".
It's very
guy.
deceiving, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's what people need to realize is even if he's 4'6", that's not slow. Okay, like and people that say they're 4'4", 90% of the time they aren't. And so, but they base it off of those camps. When they go to camps and they'll do the electronic 40s, the shuttles, the cone drills, all that kind of stuff. And so they base it off of that. He's about as high as 4 stars you can get.
Hey,
In my book, he's a 5-star.
I mean,
but
he's
that's fine.
in a size 15 shoe, wears a 2XL glove in the hands. Like, we're talking prototypical receiver right here.
Yeah, he has everything you want.
Heading into college, and
Checks
then
every box.
Yes.
and don't forget, you can't come here and not talk about Taylor Tatum.
You can't. Listen, Taylor Tatum, he's one of my favorites because he's a kid that we kind of started following a couple years ago. He's actually a really good baseball prospect, too. He's a great athlete.
Yes, sir.
And Texas A&M jumped in the mix. OU jumped in the mix. Oregon jumped in the mix with an offer. I don't think Texas has a lot of interest there, and I don't know why. Yeah. Because I was over here a couple weeks ago for the Texas High Longview scrimmage, and in 5 carries, he had two touchdowns and almost had another.
First carry of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a kid that I think is going to have a breakout year. Last year was his kind of introduction to varsity, to that level of the game. Now Taylor Tatum is trying to cement his place as a top 100 prospect. And if you look at his offer sheet, it's fantastic. And like you said, Jalen Hale running in the 4x1. Mm-hmm. Taylor Tatum runs the first leg. And to me, that's as impressive at all of it because you're doing that at about 5'11", 200 pounds.
So let me interject. I taught Taylor Tatum at Spring Hill. He was at Spring Hill in 5th grade. I taught him in 5th grade. We had a kickball tournament. The kid loves to compete.
He does.
And that's something that not everyone loves to do. You can be a great athlete, but the man loves competition. So it doesn't matter if it's on the kickball court, baseball field, or out here. He's going to compete no matter what. And he doesn't care who's on the other side of the ball going against him.
One of the things I like about Taylor is he's as complete of a back as you see at this level. He can catch. He's just as fast as anybody. He has good wiggle to him. He's just overall a great back. He can do pretty much everything.
He's got some great vision too.
Absolutely.
It's his turn. You know, when you play running back at Longview, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
And he had to wait in line. Now it's his turn. And I'll say something about Taylor that I didn't think I would see. He's got that breakaway speed, but like you said, there's some wiggle and shake there. There's some really good footwork get to that second level.
Yeah.
When you're doing that and making people miss, that's a big-time college athlete.
That touchdown on the sideline last week, I mean, I don't know what his 40 time is, but he was gone.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody was catching him. Well, while I got you here, I'm going to make you lie a little bit. Tell me what Texas is going to do this year. Tell me what their record's going to be.
You know, I've been getting that question a lot this week, and that's fun. Like I said, it's football season now. No more off season. In my heart, I kind of see a 7-5. I think they're better across the board on offense and defense. But how much? Yeah. That's what we have to see. On the offensive side, it's going to be a lot better. When you have a Bijan Robinson, the best running back in the country, going to be a first-round pick next year. When you've got an Xavier Worthy, a Jordan Whittington, and a Quinn Ewers who has all the ability in the world, the offense is going to score a ton of points. It's just going to come up to the defense. And they've got a lot of guys on that side of the ball that have something to prove. There's a lot of East Texas guys on that side of the ball.
Absolutely.
Starting, you've got DeMarvion Overshone from ARP. You got Jaron Thompson from Lufkin. You've got Keaton Crawford from Tyler High. And that's just the start. And so that defense needs to take a next step under PK in the second year. They can't have the I believe it was 104th defense against the run last year, 90th, in third down stoppage. You can't have that. So 7-5 is probably my floor. If they get some luck and some good things happen, I could see 8-4.
I don't want to. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But I immediately thought it when I saw Arch commit. Is Quinn gone after this year?
No, actually, I believe he's going to have to stay another year. You have to be there 3 years in college before you can actually go to the thing. It's all planned out. Steve Sarkisian has this thing lined up. He gets 2 years with Quinn. Quinn leaves after 2023. They start in the SEC in 2024. Arch Manning will be a redshirt freshman by that time. I spoke to Cooper Manning last week when I went down there to see him. Cooper said they want him to redshirt. He's a competitor, big-time competitor, but they want him to redshirt because that's what they wanted the other kids to do. When I tell you something about the Mannings, that brand is legit for a reason. They do everything analytical. They do everything by the book, and they take their time. And so Quinn, you get Quinn for 2 more years. His plan, and that's actually why Quinn skipped his senior year at South Lake Carroll, so he could start his clock a year earlier, and it's going to work.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's going to, and so that's going to be fun to watch that team and how everybody pulls up.
While I have you here, who are some other players in East Texas you're looking at this year that you're going to be covering heavy?
Oh man, there's always a lot, and that's why I love about this. That's why it's Beast, Texas is my home. That's why I love this place. In 2023, you've got Jalen Hale. You've got Jordan Raynaud over at Texas Tyler Legacy. He's deciding on September 19th. He's a top 50 national kid. That's going to be Alabama or OU. I feel pretty good about Alabama at this point with him. The kids to look for in East Texas are in the 2024 class, and they are everywhere. There's at least a dozen kids who could potentially be 4-star type players. Terry Bussey and Timpson is a freak. This is a guy that can make plays on both sides of the ball. I think Texas A&M looks really good there. Dalen Evans over at Pine Tree, he was the first commitment for A&M in the class of 2024. He's got a ton of upside as a defensive end or as a tight end, however they see fit. Jalen Bordley, I love that kid over at Pleasant Grove. Josh Gibson has done a tremendous job with that kid. Jerry Stanford's got a dude in over at Texas High as well, and Tamarcus Gray, and TJ had a great, when I was over here a couple weeks ago, he had a nice play for a big score. And so there's, and I know I'm missing guys, and that's the worst part. I know I'm missing guys, but 2024 has the potential to be like 2015 when you had Dalen Mack, Chris Boyd, Justin Dunning, Larry Pryor, Eric McCoy, nobody talked about at Lufkin, wound up starting at A&M for 3 years, and now he's an all-pro for the New Orleans Saints.
So how did kids get a look at, like Timpson, that's not a big school. How do they do, is it go into camps? Is that how they get the eyes on them and how they test out?
That's a great question. For the smaller schools, exposure is difficult. And that's one thing I love about our social media platforms, especially mine, because you can use this to put kids on. You can put out a tweet of a kid in his huddle. You'll get 3 or 4 DMs from college coaches asking, okay, what I need some measurables. Okay, I need some personality. What are his grades? And so there's a lot of social media.
You're the middleman.
Yeah, literally. And I try to do that for all levels. It doesn't just have to be this region, but I take care of this region because there's not a lot of exposure here. And without social media, a lot of people probably don't know Terry Bussey unless they were at the state track meet. They might not know much about him.
I cover football pretty regularly around here. I haven't heard that name somehow.
I have, but
I don't even know what Timpson is.
I'll tell you this. Last week, I was at a game last week. It was Timpson at Beckville, and Beckville has a 4-star running back named Jacoby Williams, 2024, who's got a Texas offer, who's actually visiting Texas and Alabama in 2 weeks. Terry Bussey went for over 500 total yards, passing, rushing.
Jeez.
Had 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. I mean, the guy, he tracks and smacks at 5'10", about 175. He's going to be a national guy.
So that's my question for you is, for all the parents or all the kids, anybody that's listening to you right now, what is the best way to get their kids exposed, to get their kids seen, to be able to get on the recruiting level?
Is it through Twitter and Huddle?
I think it's not one. It's a combination of things. The thing I always tell parents and especially players, make sure the transcripts are right, because college coaches will see a transcript that's not good and will immediately move it and go to the next. So before you try to get all these offers and take all these visits and spend all this money on camps, you better get your transcripts right. Otherwise, it's a moot point. And with the transfer portal these days, that has changed high school recruiting probably forever. Yeah. And I don't think people realize that yet. And it's going to be even that much more important that your grades are on top. Hit camps. Hit camps. Be a good teammate. Make sure you're involved. Make sure your coaches are up to date on all your information. Make sure when they call you, they say, Jalen Hale's the hardest working player on this team. Taylor Tatum is the most competitive player on this team. That's what you want that to happen. Twitter is a wonderful platform. You can really, that's what I've used personally, that and Instagram, to try to connect more with kids and find spots for those guys. But it's a combination of things. I don't think there's one in particular that helps, but make sure your kid's got the stuff right on his transcripts, or none of the offers in any of that matters. I mean, you wouldn't be able to commit and enroll anyway.
That's also nice if you can make that contact through social media, because I know coaches go around in the spring and visit high schools in the area, at least in Texas, so they can already have that relationship when they meet with the head coach and be able to speak with a kid.
And these days you have to recruit kids through the whistle, because you recruit them to signing day, you got to keep recruiting them because the transfer portal's there. Yeah. And 30-40% of those kids are going to try to hit that portal. Yeah. And so you have to recruit them through the whistle. And that's one of the beauties of what I do. If a coach is coming through East Texas, he'll say, hey, I'm stopping at Lindale, Legacy, legacy in Tyler High. Well, go see Jordan Raynaud, go see Trent Jackson, go see Casey Poe, go see Derek McFall, go see Zakeem Williams. Like, it's that easy to build those relationships, and then you build trust, and then you can really help kids.
Talking about McFall, I heard that he got injured last week. Do you have any update on that? If it's
I actually do not know. I
hadn't heard.
That's
so
one of those.
wondering.
It's scary because with college injuries, that's something I'm more familiar with because they're not minors and we're allowed to report on it. Things like that. With high school,
you don't know.
Even if I
understand.
Yeah, and even if I did know, that's one of those things where
you're gonna stay away from it.
You want to respect that
Yes.
that boundary, and especially for guys like Coach King, who is so welcoming for guys like us. For me, you never want to put something out that maybe the parents didn't see it or their grandparents didn't.
Yes.
Facebook, they see it all. But that's actually it's interesting you said that. That gives me something to follow up on.
Justin Brothers, always a pleasure. Thanks for being on with us. Enjoy the game tonight, and we will be right back on with 1992 state champion Vincent Taylor.
Howdy, East Texas. Neil McCoy here for Patterson Nissan in Longview, home of the free lifetime warranty. Shopping for a pre-owned vehicle has never been easier. Just head over to PattersonCars.com and you'll find over 1,400 quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, many certified pre-owned and backed by the Patterson Lifetime Warranty. And you can buy with confidence because each one has to pass a 167-point inspection before it's listed for sale. Log on and find your new-to-you pre-owned car, truck, or SUV at PattersonCars.com.
Printing your photos just got easier. Just pick your size, color, and favorite photo, and we'll do the rest. Because your unforgettable moments are meant to be framed.
Over the last 10 years, our office has achieved many record verdicts and settlements. Our commitment has always been to outwork and outfight any opponent we have in whatever courtroom we find ourselves in.
At Godarzi & Young, we have settlements and verdicts that are unmatched. Whether you come face to face with the corporation or the insurance company, they know that if they don't justly compensate our clients, they're going to have to face the Godarzi & Young trial team in the courtroom.
In Longview, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Charlene Ingram for your insurance and financial needs.
House party? We got you covered. Office meeting? Come on, treat them right. Game day? You know we're here for it. Get your taco, nacho, or fajita bar today, only at Juicy's Taco.
We are back, and man, I have somebody I've been wanting to meet for a really, really long time. 1992 state champion in basketball. I didn't know that till earlier when we talked. We got Mr. Vincent Taylor with us, owner of Elite Loyalty Sports. Got Brother Courtney with us. How's it going?
Going well, going well.
Going great. Thanks
man,
for having us.
Anytime you want, brother. Anytime you want. I was telling him earlier, I was like, every man in the world is jealous of this guy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I follow him on Instagram, and I'm just like, this guy right here with Super Bowl everywhere. I need to be friends with this guy.
Yeah. My type of guy.
A lot of miles, man. I eat out a lot.
You look good, though.
Yeah, appreciate it. That's the push-ups in the hotel.
Well, you were working today.
Absolutely.
At the Dallas Cowboys place. Five-time world champion. I'm going to hype him up. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
I'm sure, Vince, you don't care who it is. As long as your players is getting represented, right?
That's it, man. They got to work.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
I was telling him a story earlier, Keaton. So I'd have been 8 years old. We went and watched them win a state championship. My dad followed the bus all the way back up right over here. They got off. And as soon as he told me he was on that team, I was like, oh, I knew that. I knew that.
Wow. You just told everybody how old I was.
Well, you got to claim the fame. You got something that everybody's been chasing for. Everybody, especially basketball, football, whatever. Everybody's chasing that state championship, and that's the goal.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man. We were a special unit. Right now, I think maybe 2 or 3 guys played college basketball.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of guys. Some of us couldn't dribble left. Some of us couldn't even shoot a jump shot, but they just played a role.
I also want to say one of the biggest things, and there you go over there, Bobby Taylor. A lot of y'all was cousins. There was a lot of Taylors on that team.
No doubt, no doubt.
I didn't know Bobby was here.
Taylor.
I'm a huge Bobby Taylor fan. I hadn't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, he top 10 athletes I've ever been around.
Gotcha.
Man, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, so what makes this place so special?
Longview is special because just the rich tradition, you know, growing up, going to the Little League games, you know, you get bought in early, you know, so and at the barbershop, and it's good. Everybody keep you humble. So it's just I wouldn't trade my upbringing for nothing.
That's wonderful.
You know, I'm sorry if you don't know, you're a professional sports agent, and not just any sports agent. One of the top sports agents in football. The biggest contract ever last year for a lineman, correct?
Correct.
Tell me a little bit. How was that? How satisfying was that for you personally?
Well, let me tell you, I'm going to be real quick. During that time, man, I had a newborn pretty much. He hollering. His mom made me go from where I was set up to upstairs to a closet. And just see that they didn't care what it was. But it was something, man, because a lot of people don't know Trent was very close to being a Kansas City Chief.
Whoa.
Pat Mahomes had the full court press. You know, Andy Reid was on the phone talking about how good the barbecue was in Kansas City. It was close, man. And we got the deal done. It took 2.5 days. Got it done 3 in the morning.
Whoa.
It was exhilarating. It was fun. You know, I was so tired when it was over, I didn't realize what I had done.
Is that normal to get a deal done that quick? To me, that's quick. Is that normal, or does some take
when you
much
got
longer?
top lineman ever.
Yeah, when you got teams that want you.
Yeah.
I'd say it was for free agency. It wasn't quick because you notice sometimes when free agency starts, all of a sudden you see all these deals, and you know Trent was the guy, marquee guy, him and Dak. So everybody was waiting to see that one. So for 2.5 days seemed like an eternity.
Especially with a hollering baby.
Absolutely. Yeah, I caught it.
So, man, I really do follow you on social media. I see you all over the place. What is a week of your life like during football season?
It's different. Every day, every guy has it's like guys are businesses, individual businesses. So you may have someone who you got to check on because you haven't heard from him, so you wonder what he's into. And you got some that call every day because they see, hey, man, I just saw a guy get paid last week. Am I going to get paid? You know, you managing so many different personalities, so every day is different. I'm the type of agent that's real personable, love to make sure everybody is good just holistically. So my day constantly is just checking up on them, making sure they're doing okay. Injuries are big.
Yeah.
You know, you're taught to be tough and don't complain, so I just try to really tell them it's okay to let me know what's happening so I can look after you.
Yeah, and you're going to have to forgive me. I can't remember the number 1 draft pick's name. You had the number 1 draft pick in this last year's draft out of Georgia.
Yeah, I did. Trayvon Walker. Yep, he's a monster. Yeah, I call him one of one. When he declared for the draft, he was an underclassman. He was the 42nd rated player. And I told him, listen, Jacksonville has a quarterback. So they're going to have to get a pass rusher. And so they were talking about a kid at Oregon and a kid at Michigan. Never him. So I said, listen, we're never going to say a word. We're going to bet on ourselves. And when you go to the combine, you show them what you made of. And he said, no problem. He's from a town smaller than Longview in Georgia. So he said, I'm used to being overlooked.
The underdog.
The underdog. And he went and showed him. He ran a 4.5 at 270 pounds. Fastest time ever.
Good
somebody
gosh.
over 270, and he had an agility time. It would have been 4th amongst wide receivers and DBs, and he had a 3-cone time that would have been like 3rd amongst DBs. It was just
insane.
It's like Trent Williams of defense.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
Courtney, tell me about your role with Elite Loyalty.
I do kind of like the back office stuff. You know, bro might hit me and be like, hey, I need you to be here. I need you to help this guy do this. And, you know, just those little jobs, odds and ends.
Yeah, he being humble, man. He's my lead scout.
I was gonna say, you're my hand.
I was about to ask who's busier.
I mean, we all busy. You know? Like, I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drop him off at the airport, then come to Longview. So, little stuff like that. And I scout a little bit, help him out.
At the end of the day, make it all worth it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
You know, one thing and we're like nowhere on y'all's level. Let's keep that in mind. We're covering high school football. But people don't realize, like, we cover these guys when they get to college. We want to always, all right, this is what so-and-so's doing that went to this school that we've covered. And people don't realize watching football is fun, but if that's all you do, sometimes it gets a little old.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not every game's a good game, especially when you're just watching one player.
Right.
Yeah. You know, at the pro level, it is fun because you want to see people achieve and do the very best. And for us, we have a really strong practice with the East Texas guys. And we love where we come from. We want to help and educate more and more of our people from this area. So watching them excel beyond, like a Trent Williams, the #1 rated player in NFL history, Pro Football Focus. 2006, they started grading players. He's higher than Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, you know, and he's from here, you know, East Texas. So we can do it. And so when we watch games, it's a different feeling for us.
You know, you got to be one of the most accomplished alumni from Longview. I mean, you've produced an award-winning film. You've had the #1 draft pick in the NFL draft. You've had the best player in the league with the most money ever paid. I know that's always a big smile. I know you're going to do this forever. Was there anything more you want to accomplish?
Man.
Good question.
I'll tell you what, you know, no secrets about him. I would love to represent a quarterback from Longview or East Texas, you know, as a #1 pick or, you know, just a draft pick. Also, you know, just from a sports perspective, man, I just feel like it's just so much work to be done. I mean, I really want to educate more people and, you know, help parents, you know, because there's so much behind it, man, like from the tax perspective, the money management. These people are real businesses. So I just really want to expand on what we're building within Elite.
Do you think NIL at college will help with that?
Yeah, that's another thing we're trying to expand into because these kids are getting all this money with no plan. No tax plan.
I was going to say, they probably don't know about the taxes.
I mean, we're going to have games in a couple years where they're going to have to go bail people out, you know, from IRS. You know? So it's crazy.
Courtney, my question for you. You were talking about scouting earlier. Tell me some of the characteristics or some of the traits that you're looking for when you go into scouting.
I mean, I look at everything, like from the hips, you know, movement, you know, how fluid they run, and the mental capacity. Like, they might jump off sides, you know, you like, oh, they get tired and mentally they're out of it.
I got you.
So those little things.
Yeah, let me tell y'all a story. CT too modest. So the conference he played in, they played a team, Central Missouri. He called me. This is my second year as an agent. He said, "Bro, you need to come up here. I just seen Donovan McNabb playing wide receiver and kick return." So I'm like, "All right." It was Delaney Walker.
Oh wow!
So Delaney Walker was playing receiver. He was returning kicks. My bro saw him.
Took 90 yards to the house.
90 yards.
Big dude. He was built like T.O.
And I went to see him, and Delaney came with us, and, you know, he had an illustrious career. He made, you know, he's one of the all-time best.
Okay, so if there's a kid, sorry, I cut you off again,
No,
Morgan.
go ahead.
If there's a kid, of course, they're up in the stands and they're watching these football players, but if there's a kid that's watching this, give them some insight onto how you became an agent.
Yeah, so quick part. So I was a college basketball coach after I finished playing at Louisiana Monroe. And Bobby Taylor, who we just saw, had let his agent go. And I was burnt out on coaching. And he said, "Man, you should come live with me." So I went to Philly. And I ended up doing a lot of things for him just out of how I used to take care of basketball players. Make sure you ate, you know, make sure you don't miss an appointment. And a friend of his said, "You would make a great agent." I said, "What do they do?" "They're great babysitters." All right, so I just did my research, and I had the academic qualifications, which all you need to do to be an agent is have a master's degree or a law degree. So I had the master's. I had the basketball athletic background, so I just pursued it. So anyone that wants to be in my shoes is just go to school, make sure you find a capacity that you like in it, because you might want to work in marketing, may want to be finance, help guys with that, you know. But if you want to be an agent, just make sure you get the sports background of it. You can't really learn contracts until you go through it, because as good as a professional football player is, they've hired somebody who is that psychologically good to make sure they can handle it and get you for cheap.
Mm.
You know, so there's a lot of mental and psychological games being played from the locker room, the owner. It's tough, you know, so the people skills are important.
And they have a whole department breaking down contracts going against one agent.
That's
Really? So, you know, at this point in the game, I mean, y'all are one of the most elite agencies in all of pro sports. I'm assuming you don't just accept anybody anymore.
Man, I'm soft, man. Every year I say, I ain't taking nobody. I got to beg, baby, please, for somebody to sign them. And here we go. I got a kid named Austin Walters right now. He's 5'6", 187. He played at Rice. He's from Crosby. And, I mean, everybody would tell me he's too short. I had teams tell me he was too short. I still signed him because his mother, she was so sweet. She was just like, please help my son. Signed him. And so he's been in the NFL 3 years. This is his fourth year. Absolutely.
Well, it looks like homecoming festivities are getting started. Hey, guys, we really appreciate you coming on. It's been an honor. That being said, we'll have the game live here for you real soon. Appreciate it. Go Lobos. Hey, congratulations on 30-year reunion.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate it.
And now at OR, we want to buy your used vehicle and we'll give you guaranteed top dollar for yours. And if you prefer to trade, even better, with massive savings on every new vehicle at OR Cadillac GMC in Longview.
In life, some things just go together, like a burger and fries. And home and auto insurance from State Farm. Combine and save.
Talk to State Farm agent Charlene Ingram today.
Don't fumble when you're looking for your next trailer. At R&J Trailers, we got the hookup. Cargo Mate, Hallmark, Text Line, Diamond C. We've got the inventory selection to get you into the end zone. Snap into savings with R&J Trailers. Don't pass up on the best deals around. R&J Trailers in Longview and online at rnjtrailers.com.